All right, guys. So this is another podcast for the IN8 Summit, and I want to kind of make a nice big warm welcome to my friend Dr. Zach. Welcome to the IN8 Summit podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's a beautiful place.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's very cool.
And the cool thing about this is that obviously we're kind of going next level this year with the IN8 Summit. And how cool is it talking through these funky headphones?
Yeah, it's amazing. But this IN8 Summit, have you heard about this IN8 Summit? Just letting everyone know, that's Sam's catchphrase every single day. Hey, Zach, have you heard the IN8 Summit? Have you heard the IN8 Summit?
So those that you don't know Zach, he is, I'm lucky enough to work with this gentleman every single day. He's an absolute rock star. He's working at the IN8 Life now, so we're the two main chiros, or the only two chiros on, because Gab's at home with babies. And so you've been involved now for a little while at our practice called the IN8 Life, but it's all about the IN8 Summit right now. So it's so good to have you here, and thanks for, I suppose, giving us your perspective of the IN8 Summit and what it involves, but also as a bit of a transition from a student into a practicing chiropractor, and how you've, I suppose, developed some of your own skill sets and your certainties and those kind of things. So tell me your experience so far transitioning from being a student into being a chiropractor.
I would say I'm very, very lucky. I think I had a really good support network during uni, people like yourself and other mentors that kept me grounded and in this philosophy world of the chiropractic world.
Yep.
So then when I got into this workplace, I was already had some pretty cool things to hit the ground running.
But it didn't start there. I know you pretty well, so I didn't start there. Just to kind of go back a little bit, you told me that you've been to all the IN8 Summits since when?
Yeah, so since 2018, so I missed the first two, and
Yep.
in 2018 that was my second year of uni.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And you've
second
been
out of 5.
every year since?
Yes, I've been every year since.
Okay. Tell us, what was your first experience as a student at the IN8 Summit?
Yeah, it was actually pretty interesting. I definitely rocked up thinking, who is this cultish chiropractic weirdos? But by then, I definitely already knew a little bit about chiropractic. So I would say in my first year, I was very just blank canvas, didn't really know anything. Second year, I kind of started mixing with this kind of crowd.
Yep.
So when I got to the IN8 Summit, I was like, oh, this is a bit cultish. But by the end of it, I left just being empowered.
Cool.
And feeling really, really good with everyone. Everyone was so nice. You were nice. Nice-ish, at least. But it was a really good experience. So that's why I went back every single year, because the community, I would probably say, was the best part.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And I know, could you mind sharing, there's a cool thing, I know that you didn't start, like, I'm a fish slapping hippie, I'm a Floreani, I've been born into this thing called like vitalism or chiropractic, if you like. Did you start there?
No, not at all. I probably didn't get there until third year of uni. I wouldn't even say there as a destination or endpoint, but just, kind of change of perspective mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me then, can you share that story that you got the first time you got exposed to my sister, and that time when you're away up at her adjusting night?
I can. So big shout out to Sonia. I was in second year, still very much a newbie, still very much what is this cult? And we were at her beautiful house, and she was hosting an adjusting session with all the students. So I went down there, and this is just a big perspective thing. So when we were there, Sonia said, sometimes you just look in the files of the names and you see these names and you think, oh, wow, where have they been? I haven't seen them for a little bit. So you manifest and you affirm, and then they come in. And I sat there going, Sonia, what are you talking about? Like, no way. Now, 6 years later, I don't go a day without any type of manifestation affirmation. So
nice.
It's pretty cool to see differences.
So can you maybe elaborate on that? Obviously, we talk about energy as chiros. You see it almost with your hands when you're adjusting people. So I'd love to kind of get that headspace from, if you kind of married into this vitalistic thing from parents or, your chiropractor, that's one thing, but a lot of students wouldn't be there. I know you're not a student now, but maybe elaborate, is it possible to develop that certainty, or like that weird kind of, we call it that we laugh at the cult, but can you develop the certainty in this vitalistic, energetic component?
Yeah, totally. Because I think one of the best things to think back is, like BJ Palmer said, like, you don't have to believe in chiropractic, it just works. Mm-hmm. So I think that certainty and belief in vitalism and health in that general word and sense, it works.
Yep.
So for me, it was just about doing the things that got me there. But it was pretty authentic and natural. And I said, again, I'm very grateful for the people I surrounded myself with. Yeah. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Who knows where I'd be.
Dude, I love that. And I'm going to say, like, You've come a huge way. You've put the hard work in. You're more of a left brainer. You're a Virgo, so I know that you've kind of got a certain way of being more methodical. So you've put the work in, but also I know now the energy side of things will definitely come. So then tell me, transitioning from a student into becoming a chiropractor now, you're in your pretty much 6 months in. You've had a fairly exciting, I suppose, launch pad. Tell me, what are your thoughts now from your understanding of vitalism, but also from being a chiropractor, from the IN8 Summit, all those things you've done, what has been a good lesson you could pass on to other first-year graduates, or even not even just what have you learnt most?
Well, first, I just want to preface it, like I'm still like such a newbie. Like I'm only 5-6 months out. So sometimes I wake up or I'm there in the adjusting room and I'm just like, how am I here? What am I doing?
Sure.
So I still feel a little bit like a monkey. But that being said, I would just say immersing yourself. So doing the things that are going to make you feel great, doing the things that are going to make you be more connected to innate, the source, whatever that may be, or philosophy. Because if you don't do the things, you're not going to see the change. Can
you give us an example? What do you mean by that?
It could be multiple things. Like, I had adjusting groups when I was a student. We'd get together. I had philosophy nights, IN8 Summit, wonder nights. We did all these different things. I read lots of books. You literally caught me today. So I think surrounding yourself with those things becomes your internal environment.
Oh, you mentioned that thing, the IN8 Summit. What's that about? Tell me more about that.
Haven't you heard about the IN8 Summit?
No, I haven't. Tell me more about it.
It's an amazing seminar. I'm not being paid for this, but the guy who runs it, though, he's a nutcase.
yeah, exactly. I've met him once.
Yeah, nice. No, it's good. It's a good place. And have you shared the news about the destination yet?
I have shared the news. It should be all over social media. But if you haven't heard, you tell us where it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be in Sydney in the Hilton. So stepping up.
It is. I must admit, I've taken Zach out for a few lunches and a nice glass of champagne or a glass of wine. Zach's like, oh, this is a bit fancy. He's not kind of out of a mug like I had at university. So then now we're going to go from that to 5-star. He's going to be pretty excited about marble floors and gin bars and that kind of fun stuff. So it's definitely going to be the next level this year. We're upgrading the profession the way I believe we should be at the top of the food chain in regards to the healthcare of this country. So that's why we decided to commit to the Hilton. It is literally one of the most beautiful hotels in the country. I'm talking, top shelf everything. And so, it's going to be pretty exciting. I think the reason why I wanted to do that was mainly from the fact that, as I said, this profession is so awesome. And me personally, I'm sick and tired of us eating at the scraps of the healthcare. Like, we're glorified physiotherapists, let's strap this ankle, play with those toes, and hey, doctor, please, can you send me some of your friends? It's like, holy moly, man, we don't kill people. We're a freaking awesome profession. We're well skilled. So let's be there. So that's kind of why the whole point for the IN8 Summit this year is we haven't been together for 3 years, so it's time to step up and play the big game.
Have a bit of fun. I think that's so.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. So tell us from that, as a student, let's go back to the IN8 Summit. Why should students come, do you think?
There's a few reasons why, and I could probably only really speak on my experience being at the IN8 Summit and what value I got from it as a student.
Sure.
So I would have to say straight off, the surrounding yourself in that environment. So where you are and who you're with dictates your future and your internal environment.
Yep.
So being at those IN8 Summits, if you've ever been to an IN8 Summit, you definitely are leaving invigorated, like you've got energy, like that's how you feel, and you wish you could do it every few weekends, right?
Yeah.
And I think that definitely gave me massive boosts of energy when I was a student, because I'm not going to sit here and bag uni, but it can be draining and it can be hard. So those gave me as a student lots of energy and boost for chiropractic. And then you get to meet awesome people and you have drinks and chiros shout you everything. So you just get to have a good time as well.
So on that, maybe elaborate on that. So 2 things you said then. 1, surely the university would be excited about the IN8 Summit and promote you to go to the IN8 Summit every year.
Well, the world is not so simple, Sam. Yeah, definitely could. They should be. And imagine maybe, I don't know, 80 years ago maybe they could have been, but it's a bit different now.
I've definitely been banned from every university in Australia so far, so I'm guessing they're not going to actually like me. Besides ACC, those guys rock. I'm not paying out RMIT, Macquarie, Murdoch or CQU. I'm just saying that sometimes...
Well, there's gaps there. There's gaps of, we always say chiropractic is a philosophy, art and science, right? Science and art, they do a great job at, but that philosophy is non-existent.
Yeah, and
it's one of the 3 pillars.
I'm not trying to pay out the student universities, but at the same time, I kind of am, because I reckon that, Edwina spoke to us on another podcast saying just the sheer number of the graduating years, people are graduating without the why. Without the why, in any business, you don't succeed. So I'm not going to pay out the universities, but I'm saying we got to do better for our students moving forward. And that's why this year's IN8 Summit, we're really going to brings huge content and love and excitement for the students, for the CAs, for the chiropractors, because I'm going to be the first one to say without the why in any form of business, it means nothing. So the why is the philosophy, and we bring that big time, baby.
Well, I have to be very humbled and grateful for the people that actually sponsored my ticket. So I never paid for a ticket as a student. You know, chiropractors are pretty giving. They'll give back and they pay it forward. So those people, Mike and Doug, they sponsored my tickets years out and they've paid it forward. So that, for me as a student, was massive when you don't have any money.
Yeah, and you never know how far-reaching, as BJ said, never know how far-reaching. And so maybe on that, just to kind of do a shout-out, a big thanks to Doug. I'm guessing it's Doug Uren?
Yep.
Doug Uren from Mildura, that's the one. I knew his country is Victoria. And also Big Mike. I think Big Mike has sponsored more people than anyone. There's some, when we go through the list, every year the students obviously can't claim this shit on tax, and they can't also haven't got the cash flow. So you chiros out there, if you're looking for a tax rebate or a bit of a tax help, buy some tickets to the IN8 Summit. If you've got too many, if your whole team is already coming, well then shout some students because they will definitely pay it forward. Zach's my associate, and I didn't ever pay for him to come, but definitely receiving the benefits of how awesome his philosophy is now as a result of being around like-minded people. So
yeah, it definitely goes a long way when you put it forward for someone else. So me being that receiving end, I hope in the future and even this year I can repay it a little bit.
So here you go. I'm going to put it on you. You're going to now you're a kind of wealthy chiropractor.
Yeah, my boss hasn't paid me for 4 weeks though. I know what's going on there.
That's a lie. No, but so I'm just going to put that out there. As obviously 5 weeks, 5 months in, and without kind of tooting Zach's horn, he's like, Sam, I wouldn't mind paying back as well. So he came to me the other day and just said, I'm going to buy some students some tickets. And to his credit, he's only 5 months out, but he's already paying it forward. So in a big way. Yeah,
well, if I can sponsor a few tickets and then even in the future, more and more and more, and it's just paying it back, pay it forward.
Love it, love it. So, all right, as a new graduate now, so I know that this is for, you're probably going to hear me mention this a few times, not just you, Zach, but also for the listeners. There's two stats that really pissed me off. One of them was that, I learned this from ACC and some of the guys in the founders group there, and also just for the universities, that 49% of the graduating years of the last 2 years from the 4 universities, 49% of students will no longer be a chiropractor after 12 months. Like
I think that's
49%. That means that that for me, it does my head in that there's not enough why in there. And the second thing is that the average associate position is only 3 months, which means that, and you've even told me in your year, how many of your year level now have either changed jobs or it's only been 5 months out?
Well, I don't know exactly how many, but a few.
A few?
Yeah, a few. And even a close mate.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, we've got to do better as chiros and not eating our own. And so from that's me to kind of get us all together. And sometimes I know I should be more politically correct on these podcasts, but let's face it, I'm not going to overdo that. And second of all, it's like
Floreani.
we got to make change. We have to look after our young. You guys go to school, you spend $100,000 on your education, and then to kind of pretty much throw it away in 12 months. That does my head. And then going to become a dentist or a freaking even podiatrist, playing with people's feet all day. Well, that's just for me. I'm not saying your mates are doing that. I'm just saying people are changing the profession when we've freaking got gold called chiropractic, and they should, if they had more why around how good it is, there's no way you'd leave the profession in my eyes.
Well, I mean, that's why you do things like the IN8 Summit, to keep connected with that awesomeness of chiropractic, because like I said, sometimes they breed us at uni not for that awesomeness, so it can be a real struggle for people.
Yeah, sure. And I'm not paying out the students, I'm also having a bit of a call to arms for the chiropractors. Guys, we need your help. We need these students. If they ask for student nights or things like wonder nights, or like if someone said, hey, can I come and hang out with you, can I take you out for a coffee, please say yes. Can I come and observe in your practice that these students, especially in 4th and 5th year, they're trying to pass exams, but they're also trying to get the why behind chiropractic. So please say yes and get them in there, and also get them involved with the IN8 Summit. If you can't come because you got kids and too busy, I would say get a better excuse. But second of all, I'd say just shout these students, get them there, it'd be awesome. All right, before we finish off, a few things here in regards to a new graduate. So you're 4 or 5 months out. Some students, new grads might not have the patient volume or the cash flow ready right now. You get a bit of a discount in the front end. What do you reckon would be the value of a new graduate? You've mentioned it a few times, but as a new grad, come to the IN8 Summit, what do you reckon?
Well, just stay connected to what that thing is, chiropractic, and what actually chiropractic is. So here, it's called the IN8. it's what chiropractic really is. And I think you got to stay connected and you got to surround yourself with those things to have a good trajectory and know what you want to do.
Yeah, beautiful.
And like just thrive in practice. I mean,
yeah,
I've definitely found that having philosophies and values guide me and be my top pillar, then guide everything else rather than the opposite.
Yeah, I love that. And from that guy, just so you know, like he's the humble one in our relationship. Obviously, I spend a lot of time with him, but when I go away, or even when to have a new graduate coming out, it's not about patient volume. But in our practice now, I can go away. Zach's done pretty much most of new clients. His conversion rates are in the 75 to 80% range from new clients to reports. But then also adjustment-wise, he can handle 270 to 300 adjustments quite comfortably, and he's only doing 3.5 days a week. So, like for a guy who's only 5 months out, to be able to do that kind of level of service on people and bring the connection and love to them for them to kind of come back. It definitely is possible to get some rockin' new graduates, but they've done the work and they want to be there, but they also need some mentoring as well. So I'm going to say for you, mate, I know I work with you quite closely and we joke around a fair bit, but hats off to you for how well you've done. And the new graduates out there that are thinking about coming, I'm going to say just get there. If you can't afford to get there, then borrow some money if you're a principal, because I know it's going to come back big time. You're going to just walk back in the door and you're going to think, wow, where these 5 new clients come from? It's because your energy's changed. So that's why I just know almost with certainty that you will definitely be a better chiropractor the Monday after the IN8 Summit than you were on the Friday. I'll guarantee that.
And I want to send a bit of call to action to my year level too. We've all kind of split up. We didn't even get to do a grad trip because of COVID. So let's all at least get together and really support each other at events like this when we often don't get to see each other. Like, make the most of it.
And us older chiropractors, we actually like to see your younger ones hurting the next morning on the Sunday when you've partied really hard on that night and seeing you not learn your lessons. So please come so us older guys can laugh at you on the Sunday, because we know how hard you guys partying and dance, especially if we're going to be in the CBD of Sydney. So I have no doubt there's going to be some pretty cool bars around the town. All right, so then the last one here is obviously you're going to I think you've already told me you're going to buy 4 or 5 student tickets this year. But also you mentioned that you're going to bring your parents. What's that about?
Yeah, well, we're going to ask them, but I want them to come. I definitely want to sponsor them. Well, I just think, again, like chiropractic is more than just a job. Like when you surround yourself with philosophy of healing and natural everything, like it kind of integrates into other aspects of your life. So I want to bring my parents along, and they've been amazing support in my journey in my last 5 years. So if I can pay them back and show them a little bit what I do, they might have a great understanding, and then you never know how far forward that would go to with people they know and their friends, and my brother who's year 12 right now. So I think that's the main reason why I want to get them around, just to see what we do and why we're so freaking passionate and nutty about it all.
We are definitely passionate and nutty about it. So, all right, that's awesome. And I know your brother, so we've got one big job this year to try and get your brother to finally study at the ACC. He's not quite there yet, but that's my mission for this year, is to help have another Trajkovski.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad?
Go again?
Trajkovski.
No, just stop.
He's got a big ass long last name. Anyway, mate, thank you so much. So the last thing is, before we finish up this podcast, is thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You actually just snuck in on our shortlist, but anyway.
Yeah, okay.
But you've got the last gig.
He's just showing off because he's on camera.
I am definitely showing off, and how cool are these microphones, by the way. Zach goes, can I just practice? I'm not really sure how to hear myself talk. And I'm like, dude, you do it all the time. Anyway, the last thing, so the IN8 Summit this year, what are you've heard about some of the speakers, the location, the energy, and you've given us a rough indication, but specifically, what are you most excited about for 2022's IN8 Summit?
I think the biggest thing is going to be like actually in person. It's going to be everyone can congregate, have fun. We can all get together. There's going to be awesome speakers. This is why I said a bit of a joke at the start. Like, Sam just says, hey, have you heard about the IN8 Summit? I'm getting da-da-da-da-da. I don't know if you can share it just yet. But yeah, some pretty cool people coming. It's going to be lots of fun. But get together and have fun. Human connection. We freaking lost that over the last 2 years. So
yeah, definitely. And I think in this year it's going to be fun. It's going to be a place for us to, like, the Hilton have definitely stepped up and said, we've got your back big time. So there's going to be a lot of time for us to hang out and high five, hug, and there's going to be adjusting tables and a whole bunch of fun things there. So
beautiful.
Awesome, mate. Thank you once again for being here. And
thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to hanging out with you probably in about the next an hour and a half in the practice, but also for this next many years to come. I think you've done an awesome job and you should be proud. And thanks for being involved with the IN8 Summit podcast.
No, thank you. I want to say thank you for the summit and all the work you put into it. I know it's taken a little bit of time to get to this point, so it's just going to grow and get bigger and have lots of fun.
It definitely will get bigger and bigger. So, All right, everybody, you've heard Zach's perspective of being a student and then a chiropractor. Big shout out to Big Mike and also Doug for helping this guy get along. I have no idea there's going to be many more chiropractors that are going to be sponsoring students looking forward. I've actually heard from today, actually I won't drop this, but I know there's some chiropractors that are really keen to get large pools of students coming from different universities to almost have like a bit of a university challenge to see the most amount we can get there. Because let's face it, like it's, you know, same as in practice. You want to have kids, you want to have old people, you want to have athletes, you want to have people that are, you know, hurt and need our help. The more diversity, the more fun the practice is. At the IN8 Summit, the same thing. We don't want to have a whole bunch of boring fuddy-dudders on stage all the time, or just the old chiropractors. We want to have the young students. We want to have people, you know, crowd surfing. We want to be able to have the old guys in the back with the experience. We want to have it all there. So,
well, think about this for the students. Imagine you got a group together, get a house, chiros pay for your tickets, drinks there, just have 2 whole days. There's 2 or 3 days just of fun and drinking, and you know, maybe get a bus there or a flight or however you want to do it and have fun.
Definitely old school, but awesome. So we're going to build the tribe, guys. And yeah, thanks again, man, for being here. And stay tuned, guys. We've got a few more podcasts coming up. And if you want to ask us, if you want to know one person particularly about podcasting, please reach out to me, myself, or Lozzie. And yeah, I think it's a bit of fun. And I look forward to having the IN8 Summit in the 1st and the 2nd of October in Sydney at the Hilton. And you'll see this guy and you'll see me, and we'll have a fair bit of fun. So
yeah, thanks.